Hey friends, today we are sketching. So all you need is a piece of paper, pencil, and an eraser. And we are going to be making an airplane. Okay, so we're going to break it down really easy into just shapes for you. We're going to start at the nose of the plane. So this is the shape you're going to make. It just starts like a line. And I'll make mine. I want you to sketch lightly because we'll make it darker later. It'll just be easier for you to erase if you make a mistake. But I'm just going to make mine darker so that you could see it. So I make a line, then I'm going to curve that line down to the nose of the plane, like this. Okay, comes around like that. To me, if I look this way, it kind of looks like the letter J. Okay, so that is your first step. I want to make this a little longer here, so I'm just going to keep going. We're going to be doing lots of shading with this, so these lines don't have to be perfect yet. Like I said, we're going to make it darker, but feel free to erase as needed. Okay, and now I'm going to bring this to about here. And again, I'm going over it some more so that you can see it well. Okay, so from here, we're going to start a wing. So it comes up a little bit and then across. And then we're going to go in the direction of the corner of the paper. Think of it that way. Want to go towards the corner of the paper. Okay, and then the back part of the wing here. And what I want you to notice, I want you to watch me first before you do this, and then I'll give you a second to catch up to me. But I want you to notice that it's going to be wider here, and then as this line gets closer, it gets more narrow, okay? Okay, go ahead and make those lines. Now at the very end of the wings, my wings are going to be flapped upward, okay? So to do that, we'll start with this corner here, and we're just going to go up this way. It goes above this line, okay? And then on the corner here, we will be doing some erasing, by the way. I'm going to go this way. It's going to go past this line and up. And then I'm going to connect it. Okay, and obviously I'm going to erase that little bit of line. So it almost looks like a square flapped up there. What you want to make sure of is that these two lines here and here are parallel. So they're just right above each other going in the same direction. Okay. And then on this little square, I'm going to turn my pencil on its side and I'm going to shade it. I'm not pushing too hard, I'm lightly shading that side. Okay. And now we're going to just continue this line a little further. To about here. Erase some of that, it's a little too wide. Okay. Okay, now because the plane is tilting a little bit this way, this wing won't be as long as this one, okay? So I want you to imagine or take your finger and put it right here, and now kind of go straight across, because that is where the other wing is going to start, right there. So I just took my wing straight across there, and that's where it's going to start, and it's going to go back this way. Okay, so if you look at it, it's almost like a V. And then the same thing here. This one, I'm going to go across like that. Okay. And on this one, it flaps up again. Oh, and do take note, just like the other side, it gets more narrow, right, as it goes in. Now the flap up kind of falls off the page, so you can just let it go up like that a little bit. Unless you drew yours smaller than mine. But my flap up goes off the page. You can shade that a little bit too. All right. And remember, at any time you can pause this and erase and change anything you want to until you're happy with your plane. Okay, so now I'm going to make, so you remember how this was just a little bit higher, the wing, than the bottom of the plane? So I want you to take your pencil and you're going to go across until you get to this other side. See how it's a little bit lower than the wing? And just make a little line like that. Okay, now we're going to make a circle. Or an oval. It's more like an oval. Okay, making an oval there, and I'm going to shade most of it in. Except for that little spot down there. Okay. And then from there, at the top of the oval, I'm going to go back. And the bottom, same thing. Like that. Okay. At the bottom of this, I want it to be a little darker, so I am going to take my pencil and we're just going to shade it down here. And then this will be the darkest at the bottom, and then I'll just lighten up a little bit and not push as hard and then make it a little bit lighter as I go up. Okay. Then you can take your finger and blend it. Okay, now we'll work on the tail of the plane. Okay, so we have our line up here. We're going to go back up here, and I want you to make it go downward a little bit like this. I'm not totally touching there. Just let it curve down a little. Okay, and then the back of it kind of reminds me of the letter L. So it goes like this. Okay, so we're just gonna curve it up. And then there's going to be two smaller little flaps that come out. So you make a line like this. And then remember the direction that these are, because it's going to kind of be similar, okay? See how they're pretty much the same. Like that. Might fall off the page a little bit depending on how big your drawing is. And then the same thing on the other side. Just kind of pretend that line goes through there and put your pencil right here when you go straight across. And then again, I want to go kind of in the direction this one is. Like that. Okay, and then to finish it off, we just have to connect it down here. So again, pretend your pencil goes through that wing, come out on the other side like that. And then I'm going to make like a little shadow back here, like that. These shapes are kind of tricky, but I know you can do it. Okay, so we want to kind of decorate our plane now. I'm going to make this whole area shaded, so I'm going to just take my pencil, starting back here, and I'm just lightly shadowing this. Like that. A little shadowing above this line. And then I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to blend it. See? Oops, we are going to get messy. That was a mistake. Okay. You can do a second layer if you want, if it's not dark enough. Okay. All right. Now over here, there is a line and a little circle and another line and a circle. And notice those lines are just following the same direction of the tail. Okay, and I'll put a little oval over here. Color that in. And we'll put two little marks over here. Maybe they're windows. Okay. On this wing, on towards the back of it, I'm going to make another line like that. And then I'm going to skip a space and then finish that line like that. Okay, and then same thing on this side. Come through here. A line, a little circle, circle, like that. Remember, you can pause at any time. I'll try to slow down just in case I'm going too fast for you. So I'm putting a line here, same direction as the wing. And right here too. Okay. Little line right next to it on that side. Okay, now before I do my windows, like right here, just above that line for the wing, I'm gonna make a line that goes all the way to the front of the plane. There we go. And then I'm going to make like a little door kind of in the middle of these two spaces. So you see this to here, this here to here, go in the middle there and then make an archway. That's going to be like the door to the plane. Okay, so behind the door, we could add some oval shapes for the windows. We could start like just in front of the wing here. Do one here, and we're going to color them in too. Try and make them the same size and the same distance apart. Okay, if they're not perfect. Okay, so I was able to fit 5 windows. If yours looks better with 6 or 4, that's fine too. All right, now for the window at the front, it curves around. So if you start up here, think of it like a curve that wraps around. Gets a little bigger at the front. Now for this part, I'm going to make windows. If it's difficult for you, you can shade the whole thing in, but I'm going to make little windows. Either way, it will look good. And then I'm going to shade those in. Like that. And underneath, I'm going to put just a little dash there, little circle there, maybe a little shadow right here, little circle there. Look at our plane. It's looking good. Now I'll put a few little light circles at the top here too. All right, let's do a little bit more shadowing. So at the under part of the plane, it's darker than the top. So I'm just gonna lightly shadow the bottom here. Just using the side of my pencil. And then as I go up, it'll be even lighter. I'm just barely coloring it. Okay. Now I'm going to take my finger and blend it. Okay, we could do a little bit of shading on the back part of the wings. And blend. I'm going to leave the front part a little whiter. Okay. Now, we're going to do some clouds, and then the last thing we're going to do is just make everything darker. All the lines we made, we're just going to make them darker and just stand out more. So for my clouds, I'm just going to, again, I have my pencil on its side. Just making little bumpy marks. And then I'm going to, some clouds will be darker than others. I'm just kind of going around and around in light circles. And then I'll shadow that one. I'm going to leave this cloud a little lighter, and then I'm going to shadow behind it. Okay. Kind of scattering around some clouds. So you can place your clouds wherever you want. Okay, and then now to make the plane really stand out is I'm going to take the point of my pencil. I know we've been using the side of it a lot, but now I'm going to take the point of it and I'm just going to go over everything again and make it really dark. So we're just going to continue to outline it. You could also use your eraser, erase any marks that you didn't like. And just keep practicing sketching and shadowing. Don't be afraid to get messy. And your drawings will come out better and better every time. You could, in fact, you could do the same video more than once and see how you improve each time you try it. Okay, so I pretty much outlined everything, made it darker. And now, with my sketches, I always like to sign it fancy. You can just put your initials or you can put your signature on it. And it is complete. I hope you had fun making an airplane with me today. And keep drawing, keep practicing, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a good day.